What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night, and now it is time for your Thursday treat. Kick your shoes off, grab something cold to drink. It's Doc Talk time. Welcome back, everybody. Let's drop in a guest. Add to stream. Can you hear me now? No. So what is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Doc Talk. We are still waiting on a couple of people to drop in here, but we can't start the show late. We got to do it on time. So hope you're all listening. Hope you're all having a great night. Christmas decorations. Christmas decorations. My cooler is still missing. If you was in for the Orion podcast the other night, you noticed this is Ada. This is my fake dog. So she looks like my real dog, which is why we got to have it. But anyway, yeah. So welcome back to the show. We've got Jason Cassetty. He's figuring out a few technical difficulties to hear real quick. But yeah, Doc Talk. We got some exciting things to talk about, mainly fishing. In case you didn't know. And he's gone. So you guys just got me. So yeah, a few of the things we're going to talk about tonight. You guys, our fans, can drop questions in the comments below anytime that you are ready. So any questions you got for any of the panel, you may drop those comments in the comment section. Ask these guys. Don't be shy about it. We're gonna put them through the ringer. That's what they're here for. That's what they came for. Good evening, gentlemen.
What is up?
So we got a couple recent offenders on the Doc Talk program tonight. We've got one Mr. Jason Cassetty. We've got a little Mr. Lance McWhorter, and we might have another guest drop in. You just never know what can happen on Doc Talk. So, gentlemen, how's everybody doing?
Doing good, Chad. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great now.
Oh, man, this is fantastic. Well, yeah, we're doing good, man. It's the end of the season. We wrapped up Derby season unless somebody gets the vid and drops out of the tee. I've got a little something left this upcoming weekend with a super special angler that I hear is coming out of retirement.
Yep, out of retirement. It's a mystery angler.
A mystery angler. Nope.
Yeah.
Not anybody in particular. Try that.
No. Nobody that anybody knows is coming out of retirement to take on a tournament again. It's only been since summer, but it's been a minute since I fished with you guys.
Well, good to have you on the water, Chad.
Gronk. Michael Blatt says it's Gronk. Something like that. What's up, Adam? Oh,
what's up, Adam? Team Red Boat.
So we got going on.
I was going to say going well down here in Texas too. Perfect fishing weather, but not enough time to fish a lot, man. It's been busy. Life's been hectic and crazy, but yeah, doing well. Just working too much.
I understand that. And our last guest tonight, hey, Josh Stewart, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How's it going, Chad?
Good, man. So what you got left for the rest of this year? I mean, you still got a few derbs left, or you kind of wound down?
Oh,
yeah, I'm pretty much out at this time. The busy season restaurant business and opening a new bar at my restaurant, man. So it's like my season kind of got cut a little bit short, unfortunately, but sometimes life just has to take priority over the fun life.
It happens, man. It happens.
Yeah. But anxious to get back out there. I've got some really cool trips coming up, so we'll do it.
How about you, Josh? What do you got going on for the rest of the season?
I just got done packing some bearings on my trailer to get ready to go to Louisiana-Texas border this Saturday.
Very nice. Very nice. So, Doc Talk, as you guys know, you gentlemen are welcome to ask each other questions. We can get questions from the audience. Questions can come from anywhere. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. We're going to start off on one subject, and we're going to see where this road takes us. Tonight's subject, that's going to start this whole deal off. Why kayak fishing? Whoever wants to filter first, go. An answer from all three would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go the kayak fishing, man. It was one of the most peaceful things I could find to do after I came home from Iraq. It was one of those, it was exciting, but chill at the same time, which is kind of exactly what I needed. A lot of great water and a lot of great rivers. And I got my hands on a Jackson Cuda. I think it was like 2013. And man, I just kind of fell in love with it. Just said it's very serene, it's very peaceful, but then when you latch into a big one right there by the boat, it's just all guns a-blazing at that point, just super exciting. And I don't think that boat fishing, I mean, I boat fish for a lot of years, but I just really don't think that it compares in the connection that you get with the fishery, with other anglers when you're out fishing with a bunch of dudes in kayaks. It's just, I don't know. There's just something really, truly special about it that I don't think that people get until they actually go out and experience it.
Next.
Well, basically, I mean, I seen an opportunity in the area that I lived in to use a kayak, and like the back of like the Kentucky Lake, the creeks in Kentucky Lake, and I basically put two and two together with a kayak, and I've been in love ever since. It's just like the simplicity of it, there's no maintenance. I mean, you can buy any kayak and get into it. So, I mean, I started out with like some tandem kayak I couldn't even tell you the name of. Then I bought another tandem kayak, and then finally bought the same one as the Cuda 12. Yeah, I still have it in my garage. I'll probably never get rid of it, the OG green.
Oh,
I miss mine so much.
It was a good boat, man. I mean, there's a lot of people had the Cuda 12, and it was
it paddles really well.
It did. It paddled real well. It was a fast boat, and
not the most stable, but
no. I always, low position. That's where I lived in that boat. There wasn't much high position in that boat for me.
Actually stood up in it a lot. But...
Yeah, same. I'd stand up and drift in rivers in the Cuda.
Yeah, only like 3 foot max water though.
Yeah.
And the Cruise 12 was right there too. I've actually still got my first Cruise 12 here at the house, and it's it's a good boat. It's a boat if you just want to take it out and you just want to go like cruise and like paddle. It's fast. It's really fun.
That's my Liska now.
Yeah, Liska for sure. See, every episode the Liska comes up. Just happens.
It's incredible boat.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Right.
Yeah, bring it back. For me, and Lance, thank you for your service. We appreciate that.
Oh, sure.
The low barrier to entry really kind of caught my eye. I've always fishing from bass boats, but having the opportunity to get out there and be competitive, especially on some of these national trails, where you get to get out and fish different bodies of water that you're not familiar with, stuff that you kind of grew up seeing on TV, like on Saturday mornings, Bassmaster and whatnot. Be able to go out there and compete against sticks like Lance and Josh, for decent money, for a few grand, in a piece of plastic. It was like, man, this is legit. This is pretty cool. And I love the physical aspect of it, the contact that you get with nature, like Lance was talking about. You get to go up those little shallow creeks in Josh's neighborhood and just experience, a totally different part of the lake that, in a glitter rocket, you just don't get. So I really, all those aspects really gravitate to the kayak world, and it's definitely dope. It's been a really fun few years doing it.
So here's the kind of the next question to kind of go into that, and this is one of those where we all go to different boat shows, we all work at different events, or we see that guy at the ramp, and the first statement that he likes to make is, "Well, I'd fall out of that thing." So let's talk about that. Is kayak fishing easy?
I think it can be. I think that a lot of people that are just getting into it, and I'm glad you brought it up. So that's like kind of one of the things I was hoping we could get into is like rigging and stability and things, because there's been a lot in social media about it and weight ratings and all that. I think it can be easy. I think that a lot of people overthink it when they're beginning in the early stages. Usually it's kind of the newbies with kind of they're just getting into it and have, like Josh said, some of the who knows what it's called boats, and they're looking at what kind of outriggers do I get? What kind of scupper plugs do I use? And the answer is like none, man. Like you're overthinking it. It's like just get out there and get comfortable. It's either that or it becomes not easy because a lot of people buy a boat and before they ever put it in the water, they load it with dry cell batteries and start drilling holes in it for stuff in places that they don't even know how the boat rides yet. It's like they start making modifications to it. So I think that those are the things and a lot of the obstacles that get in the way of new people getting into a comfortable relationship with the sport, because they just kind of overthink it from second one. Because I think, like you said, man, I'll fall out of that thing. So that's how they approach it, as opposed to just going and getting in, Aliska or something like that, just going, man, I could tap dance in this thing, it's and just keeping it simple for a little bit. People just kind of go right off the bat. They just start strapping stuff to the boat and they make it hard on themselves.
Do you guys feel like maybe affordability has what's made it easier to go, affordability with kayak fishing has made it easier to go all in right at once as compared to, like a big boat, when you look at that price point and then the price points of the graphs and the different things, the trolling motors, all the accessories you can put on it really inflates that pricing, whereas the price of a kayak doesn't inflate that pricing. So it's easier for people to jump straight in. Or do you think it's because they see us?
I definitely think that's easier, but easier catching fish. It might be a little bit more effort into actually catching fish because you can't just motor around the lake, real quick. But it does force you to break down an area, instead of just motoring around the lake real quick, which is what I do in a bass boat. Every time I'm in a bass boat, I fish for about 5 minutes in a spot and I'm out.
Yep. 100%. What you got, Jason?
Well, same thing there with what Josh was talking about. I do like the low barrier entry, but the one thing that when I first got into it, and I'm sure you three could speak to it also, it was pretty black and white. It was kind of new. There, everybody had a milk crate. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have the, Yak Attack and all the cool accessories that all boats come with or you can get now. But it's very popular, right? So people get on social media, YouTubes and whatnots, and they see these guys as fully rigged out kayaks, motors on the front, motors on the back, dual power poles. They've got some crazy stuff, and they see that and they want to be that, you know what I mean? So I think as a society, especially a society on social media, we want to gravitate to the cool guy in his kayak, and we're like, oh well, I've got to run 2 graphs on my piece of plastic. One of them is dedicated to forward facing sonar of some sort. I have to have the power pole. Jeff has got to hook me up with a Torpedo. I need an XI something with spot lock, and I need this, and it's like, daggum. I see it on both sides. I like the low barrier to entry, but some of these guys are just jumping, head first into everything because, for $8 to $10,000. You can get your boat and get it fully equipped and outfitted. And you might not even know how. You probably didn't buy a paddle. There's a lot.
The paddle was an
You're
afterthought.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a very good point,
I
man.
see launching without a paddle, and I'm like,
I mean,
are you crazy?
how many tournaments does that actually get brought up? Like, hey guys, it's a paddle sport. Don't forget to take a paddle with you.
Yeah.
I've actually heard TDs, say that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad that you have to remind people. They're like, oh, I've got a motor, or the pedal drive is really the mainstay in the market. But there's, Josh can tell you, I'm sure he's broken 100 or 300 pedal drives. Get out there and you don't have that, man. It's an old saying, but it still goes, man. You go up a creek without a paddle, you're in a lot of trouble.
What's the total number of
some
drives
of my best
broken?
finishes have come on self propulsion. So
Yeah.
I think all my biggest checks I've ever cashed were just either paddling or pedaling.
Mm-hmm.
How many flex drives did you break, Josh, to get to the new Mark IV that we're at now?
No clue.
Josh is our tester at Jackson Kayak, and he's the reason the Mark IV works so well, in all honesty. But
story.
So when we looked at, and you guys talking about rigging and stuff like that, when you talk about the old days, milk crates and different things, what was one of the first, like when you started rigging out, and a lot of us do come from the PVC days and the different fun things of different color bungee cords. What was some of the first things you guys did rigging out your kayak? I mean, back in the day, something that you might have made.
Like mine was a PVC for the transducer mount.
Oh yeah.
I really didn't even buy anything special for the kayak until probably after like 5 years I was in it, really.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. There was a lot of stuff. I mean, you would just run to Lowe's or the hardware store, and you were buying 90s and 45s and PVC glue, and just trying to make
spend, $100 on something when I can make it for $8.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was cool too, because you would like entire group pages, and you guys all remember this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were so dedicated to just building your kayak, and everybody had ideas, and it was really neat, some of the stuff people came up with.
Was that on MySpace or?
It was Tom.
Yeah,
Tom gave us our own special page.
And I mean the old forum days, like I think it was like Texas Kayak Fishing Forum was a big one. But yeah, you'd see these. I mean, you see a lot of really cool PVC stuff back then, but you'd also see some dudes just like go crazy. Like, what was that old video game that was like where it had the pipes had to fit together and do all the crazy stuff? And you'd see these things that like looped around and came back behind the seat and like tied in with the front, hooked it to the back, and like it was. Some of it got pretty out of hand.
Yeah, it was missing the only thing it was missing was a hamster running through some of those things.
Exactly.
I like the self-made power pose the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The tomato steak. The green tomato steak is
tomato steak. Yeah.
Yeah, you put that thing through a scupper hole, because I tried a more robust version, and I hit something and it broke and cracked in the scupper hole, but those green tomato steaks would break away and bend and break before you broke your kayak in most cases. So, I mean, low key, I mean, I would probably, because you can stick it in the front scupper hole, and it works out pretty good sometimes.
Yeah, FYI, power poles do not float.
No,
they do not. Yeah.
No, they're heavy.
I thought it was going to be like a stakeout pole and float, and disappeared.
Straight to jail. Yeah, they straight to the bottom. Jason, I was going to get defensive there for a second when you started picking on us with dual power poles. That's my favorite thing in the world is dual power pole. I love that. Yeah, way better than the old stakeout poles.
Oh yeah, it keeps you spinning around like a little airport, man.
Yeah,
I use a stakeout pole through like a rod holder. That way I can just move it around to which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, and that's easy thing to do. I mean, anybody can do that, and that's
Mhm.
actually still a great tip. Especially for river fishing.
Mhm.
A lot of times you can, if you're in a shallow water river, just to stake out like that, man. I've done that so many times. Just taking a short stakeout pole and throwing it. The old painter stick is actually what I
Mhm.
had, and you just jam it down to the scupper and lock
It
in,
was
and there you
kinda-
set.
Yeah, or I'm glad it's got a bunch of gravel, so I just kind of drag the gravel and kind of just slow you down a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I kind of ran the Susky was the Liska. It's like that's my riverboat now that I don't have the Cuda anymore. Rest in peace, Cuda. But the Liska has that hole in the back of the hull, kind of back by the grab handle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the Jackson rudder ready kit on it because I absolutely love the foot controlled rudder on that small boat. So I was like, man, how can I rig a power pole to this? So I just moved it up and I made a bracket that goes inside of the hole back there, and so the power pole mounts up higher in the Liska, and the spike drives through that hole. So like getting going on the Susky, you blow through an eddy and hook up and just hit the button and slam that spike down and just and catch you in the rocks and bring you to a stop. And it's just or if you're sneaking up on a spot, kind of start backpedaling a little bit and just drop that spike and then just stand up and turn around and cast upstream, and just work down. And it's figuring out a good way to stake yourself down is huge. That's especially in that moving water. When I first started fishing, the OG mod, I mean, back then the Cuda was so well outfitted you didn't really have to mess with it. It had that little cool it had the rod locker, and it had the little double triangle kind of TP stack with the bungees on the front. I mean, it was a good boat, but just the anchor trolley was about it then, was just being able to move in position. And but yeah, I think that's probably the number one thing that people should think about, besides not falling out of the boat or having something on you when you do fall out of the boat, is how do I hold the boat still in one spot?
Yeah. So, I mean, are you guys like looking at today and talking about where we've came from? Are you impressed with the accessories that like places like Yak Attack and
Oh yeah,
Ram and all them make now, and Yak Gadget?
Yeah, Yak Gadget. Like they're like I stopped by Yak Gadget when I picked up my NAR, and man, just watching the innovation coming out of just that little shop, it's just there's people out there just doing that work, where like Yak Attack and those guys have really gotten just to where they're that kind of big production line. It's like there's a ton of people in the background that are growing, and I think it's super healthy to see the competition start coming up and starting to see more companies pop up. But yeah, the innovation is insane now. I mean, it's and technology goes hand in hand with that, and I think the boats do too. The more advanced the accessories you're getting, the more advanced the boats are becoming to handle more and more accessories.
Absolutely.
I mean, I got 3 cup holders on my Yak, so I never thought that.
Yeah, and still know where to put a drink.
Yeah, just throw lures in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that new box on the NAR though. I just got my NAR the other day. I'm really digging that box.
I strap it to the back of my seat, like right at the back, down low. Just tie it right to the back of the chair.
I got it on the side with the pliers in it and everything.
Yeah,
nice.
It's awesome. I love that box.
I wish I've got an extra box, and I am actually going to throw it on our Take 2. And I can't wait to get it on there, actually, because it's like just one of those little things where it's just like, man, that boat just needs a little something somewhere to put stuff. So it'll be, I'll have one on the Take 2.
Yeah.
Cup holder. And
we had it out in the ocean the other day I had the motor on with 2 seats on it. I mean, it was doing like 5 miles an hour. It was pretty nice.
That Take 2, man. If somebody is actually looking, and they just really, I think, and Josh can echo this a lot because you've had a lot of time in it. If you're looking to just put a motor on a boat and it's going to be your primary thing, you don't care about a pedal drive, you really need to look at that Take 2, because
for reals.
Yeah, that thing is a beast.
I didn't even run like the Spectre wire through I didn't drill any holes. I just used the Yak Attack rings and just ran like some cord from the foot pedals back. That way I can adjust it if I want to put another seat in there.
Mm-hmm. And that boat,
it works wonderful.
It's so stable too. And I mean, like for people that really like the big rig platform, and if like you really need to look at the Take 2, because, and Josh, you can attest to this. When you lean that take two, it wants to force its way back up. Like it does not want to lean at all.
I stand up in it with my wife in it.
Yeah. It's a stable boat. And I think anybody that's really looking to run a motor, a take two.
It's not really that heavy too to be as big as it is. And I've had it in shallow water too. It goes in really shallow water, especially if it's just you in it.
Yeah. It's like Chris Funk would say, that boat will run in wet grass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's so wide and it's
just like that big rig. Yeah, same thing. I mean, it'll just run both of the. It's crazy when you can run a boat that size in 6 inches of water.
Yeah, and it's long. It cuts well, and if you have to paddle that boat, it really does actually paddle well. I mean, your first couple paddle strokes take a little bit of force to get the inertia moving, but once you get the momentum moving forward,
it tracks pretty straight too. It doesn't really drip to the left or right or anything too bad.
No, it's got great length and it'll skip some waves, and it's a great boat. It really is. So yeah, talking about adding all these accessories and all that. You kind of mentioned one big thing, Lance, about the weight ratings and stuff like that. And man, we got a lot of people putting a lot of heavy gear. And Jason and I actually had kind of talked about this a little bit today. Are we at a point where maybe the gear loading is getting too much? Because, you look at a big boat that say weighs 150 pounds and, you weigh 200 pounds, and then you put a battery, you put a motor, you put power poles, you put your tackle, you put multiple rods. That boat, these big lakes, we've all seen it. They do get rough, and you have to keep your head on a swivel at a point when these big lakes start getting rough.
Absolutely.
Once that boat goes over, you can find yourself in a pretty big mess if you've overweighted your boat.
Yeah. Well, it's, being somebody like, I've got Billy Bones custom kayaks, and I build, I outfit a lot of boats. And when I'm just getting ready to publish a video on my completed NAR for next season, and it's it's a lot of gear, it's a lot of stuff. But I think if you put a lot of thought into it and you really just I think what you just kind of did, what you just voiced is one thing that a lot of people don't even think of. They see 450 pounds and they're like, oh, there's no way that I'm going to have 450 pounds in that boat. They're 325, they've got, 2 Dakota lithium, 54 amp hour batteries and, a motor and, all their tackle boxes, and they've got enough, they're fishing walleye tournaments. So they got 3 boxes of big sinkers, and, they've got a lot of weight in these boats, so but they don't think about it. They just think, oh, that's plenty of weight. That's plenty. Right. I'll never hit that. But it's really, you really have to pay attention. It's like when I'm building a lot of these boats for people and they want to do, like you said earlier, a Newport NK180 on the back and then a Motor Guide XI3 on the bow, and then, a 100 amp hour battery and a 24 volt, 50 amp hour battery. And all right, well, you're not taking lunch, you're not taking water, you're not taking any tackle, and you can have one, loose spinning combo to take with you. It's like, that's it, right. But people don't think of it that way. So, I think it's just super important to plan it, to put some thought into it and be honest. It's like a lot of people just don't want to be honest with it, and they want to kind of push that when, and then you got to think, 130 pounds of that is boat, it's like, what, no matter how you read a weight rating, you're talking about like displacement. You're talking about like what that boat can do before it goes underwater. So, that includes the boat, that includes you, it's not you and a 12 pack of beer and then all this stuff. It's, you have to think.
Wait. What tournaments are you fishing?
What tournaments?
Yeah. You said there's beer. I just want to know and what's the entry and where to find it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure.
We're all
I would be in on that one too, like a Thursday night beer league or something. Maybe I'll start one. I don't know. Once I get my bar open and I got some free time, I might start a Thursday night beer league. I wonder what the insurance would run me. They
nothing, officer. We wasn't drinking.
But yeah, it's just being thoughtful about it, and it's just being honest. And And a lot of people just don't want to be. They want to set unrealistic expectations on physics. You know, it's like at the end of the day, it's just physics and engineering, and you can't cheat those numbers.
Yeah. And those numbers are super crucial. And being honest, like you were saying, Lance, at some point in time, you're going to get wet in a kayak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Be it, you screwed up or somebody blew by you and, you get washed and you go over. It's going to happen. So, talking about having all that weight, not just on top of, assuming everything's strapped in and good to go.
Mm-hmm.
You've got those big batteries and, fixed accessories that aren't going to just fall off like motors. How much thought has you or anyone else really put into like, okay, so you're turtled, you're upside down in the middle of, let's say, Champlain with 4-foot rollers. How easy is it going to be for you to upright that ship and, re-entry safely? And you're a mile and a half offshore.
Wearing cold weather coveralls and coats and boots and
I mean, people don't dress right for the job. They don't think ahead before they get in the water. So I mean, how many of these things have these people even thought about, or they just think, oh, it's advertised as a big boat for big guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's super stable, and I can put all this stuff on there because Lance has 2 power poles and 6 graphs, and we can go. Let's do it.
Right.
They just jump in, all in, and half of them don't even know how to swim.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them, like a bigger frame guy, when you look, I'm like 225, and I think of what would happen if I had another 100 pounds in that high position on that seat, like just even if I changed my weight load out and perfectly balanced the boat, just having that extra weight, up high, especially in a boat like, say, like the NAR that has that really wicked, like, secondary stability aspects to it that kind of feels weird, that's probably going to scare the crap out of some people that aren't ready for it, so it's, but they'll load it up and they'll just go, like, first trip out, let's go run class 2 rapids and with a fully loaded boat, it's like, what do you think's going to happen? It's like, you're going to have a bad day, and it's not the boat's fault. It's not the, it's yours, because you just weren't honest. You didn't take the time to learn it. You didn't take the time to take baby steps. It's like, how many times has anybody ever bought, like a new rifle for the first time? And like the first time you ever shot it, you just we're all comfortable, like, or did you kind of give it a pow just to make sure everything's working right?
I held it way out.
Yeah, like kind of like every one I've ever bought, I've done that. It's just, I don't know if I overthink things or I'm just overly cautious. But if I get a new boat, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a paddle and I'm going to take a PFD and I'm going to go get in that boat and I'm going to paddle it around and until I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, I get it. I'm not gonna take it out in big waves or big winds or bad weather, or I'm gonna take a bluebird day and I'm just gonna go pussyfoot around in that thing all day long until I just know what that boat's like.
Josh, how much time do you spend in your boats before you like actually start setting them up? I mean, what's your process look like?
Yeah, at this point, I'm throwing everything on it as soon as I get it. Yeah.
Man about town, you've seen it.
I don't really have a problem with carrying too much stuff. I just try to just keep everything kind of leveled out. Keep the weight in the front and the back, similar.
Right.
So it's more efficient. That's about the only thing I do. I don't really take that much tackle with me. The heaviest thing I really have on me is a battery.
Dang. Now, so you're telling everybody that you're just beating all these guys with one lure. Is that what you're saying, Josh?
3.
I like it. It.
What is it? A Ned rig, a spoon, and a MEPS.
Yep, exactly.
It's perfect.
Josh could probably give us the school of the whole school on this thing. How much? Let's ask this. I'm gonna ask you, how much of your winning are you just instinctively fishing, and how much of are you like graphing and finding this and finding that, or are you just fishing instincts, man?
It's mostly just instincts. A lot of shallow water fishing. Yeah, just beating the bank most of the time. But sometimes I do find schools on my graph. But I hardly ever spend any time just riding around graphing. I mean, I basically just use down sonar and side imaging. That's it.
Nice. Very nice.
And I just recently, I mean, I've had my graph, like the side imaging went out on it for like a year, so I just now got another one, and I just had down imaging or down just regular 2D sonar for like the entire last year. I mean, so that's all you really need is 2D sonar down, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I still do a lot of just 2D, just down image sonar, and then I still do a lot of side imaging. I'll usually have both on at the same time.
I do too, but it's not necessary for me.
Right. Up shallow, doing the thing. You probably just made a lot of dudes at home cry. They're like, man, his graph didn't even work for a year.
Well, the side imaging crapped out on me, but
I've been fortunate enough on a lot of places. Like Josh is just one of those guys that I happen to run into on the water pretty often. And it's like he's always just cruising by, just like, hey, what's up, man? Just calm as can be. Like you're stressed out, you're like fan casting, like just going nuts. And he just, hey man, what's up? How's things going? Oh, good, man. Yeah. Just always chill. I think he's just in his element.
I fished so many tournaments that I don't get nervous about them anymore.
Well, it's just so you know, it's calming to those around you too. Like every time you pass by, it's like passing by. I'm trying to think of some like legendary people that like Matt Ball. Like every time you run into Matt Ball on the water, it's just like one of those just transcendental moments that just absolutely slows everything down around you and just makes you take a breath and feel better about yourself.
I wish I could echo that, but if I see Josh at the ramp, I know I made the right decision.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If I see him in the same region of the lake,
you made the right decision, or you made just a terribly wrong decision. It's usually never in between.
If you finish low, I can always say, well, I was right there with Josh Stewart. I mean, so and like Nicole's like, oh, Josh is at this ramp. I'm like, all right, cool, we're doing good. And then I'll see him, and he, like you mentioned, Lance, he's all calm and cool. It does reverse for me, man. That's reverse psychology. I'm stressed. I'm stressed out. You know what I mean?
There's no reason to be stressed. The outcome at the end of the day is going to be the same.
Yeah, you're still fishing.
I'm not catching him, but Josh he's like, yeah, man, good luck, bro. Hey, you fishing over here? You fishing over there? I'm like, man.
If you go slow enough, usually in 8 hours you can get 5 bites.
Don't get 5.
Man. 5 bites for sure. Yeah, about 5 fish is a different story.
Well, that's how my recent tournaments have been. It's barely getting 5 bites.
I managed to do like I'm still big in the learning process for the tournament fishing. So it's like there was a few that I actually kind of got limited out through, and those have been the proudest. It's like tiny victories. It's like I think when you get out there and you kind of learn how to actually function without crumbling, learn how to take pictures of fish. A lot of people I think are just going to jump out there and just like start racking trophies and stuff. It's like, it's a lot of work.
Taking pictures of fish is nerve wracking. It's like, you've already caught the fish, and now you're not even halfway through. You're halfway through.
Yeah, now the hard part begins. Yeah, or the embarrassing part. You're going to catch it on your GoPro when that sucker flips off the board.
I've gotten pretty good instinctively knowing when they're gonna.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll put them back down in the net and just dip the net in the water and just let them swim until they stop. And
yeah, I do that for sure. I can't do it like I was giving Brian Howell a hard time the other day on a local trail on their page when they were talking about new measurements, because you always see Brian with his, like, he's got him down by like the tail and giving them like the Hobie tail pinch, and he's just gently holding them. And I'm like, man, I don't know how, like, I'm like bear paw, like, stay on the board.
I still measure them in my lap.
No, yeah, I
I
put
mean, I
them on
have
my
them
feet
jump,
with
but
a
I
net at
usually
their
just
head.
I've gotten pretty good at like just scooping them up like a football too, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's been a long time since I always do that little bit of the board tilt, wet the board,
Mhm.
tilt the board a little bit.
Yeah,
The
you gotta wet it.
fish is down there, it's hanging out on a set of fish grips. Let him chill out while I'm cleaning up my mess, getting everything ready. Lay him on there, man. It seems like if you get that little bit of board tilt and your board's
Mhm.
good and wet. Now the bigger fish especially seem like they
You
just
haven't lost one on the fish
They go to
grips yet?
sleep.
one.
Oh.
I will say I've lost one.
That's all
I
it took for me.
double wrap them. I try to do that the best I can. But
I'm like Josh. I put them in the net, and I've got like a ram ball there on the side that I let the net hook on, and then he sits right there and just chills out while you get ready. It's just
one day one's gonna jump out though. I know it.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
happen.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it seems like those big ones, especially they just lay on the board.
Yeah,
like
they go
just,
to sleep for sure. Yeah, the big ones go to
you don't
sleep.
have to touch them.
It's always the little one, the little smallmouth that tries to jump up, spine you in the eye, and then like
in the wintertime,
crawl
the
under your
largemouth
seat.
definitely they just give up. But
Yeah.
middle of summer, I don't know, dude. They get a little crazy.
Especially if you forget to wet the board.
Oh yeah, you got.
Well, it's like sticking them on a frying pan if you forget to wet those metal boards. I do remember my first time using the catch board, and I thought, oh my gosh, this thing is so slick. Because you remember the OG hog trough had the ribs, like every number was raised. So it kind of had like a little bit of like its own built-in traction. But the first time I ever used a catch board, I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's so slick. This fish it just won't stay. Because I had the side of it kicked up too high, which was my own fault. But
I need to soundproof my sketch board. It's usually you can just tell when somebody caught one like a half a mile away from you, just by
bing,
the
bing,
clang,
bing.
clang, clang.
Yeah. Wonder if we could get some skateboard tape on them things. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, grip tape.
Grip tape. Clear grip tape. Sound. It helped the sound and it helped the fish stay on the board a little bit better. Should put that in. We just come up with Catchboard's new idea right here on Talk tonight. You're welcome, Catchboard. Backing up here, Jeremy Baker made a statement. I want to throw it out here to you guys. I'm going to let you kind of answer this how you guys see fit. He's 260 pounds, and it took a little bit for him to get used to how the gnar felt. What would you guys say to that and talk about the rocker of the gnar and how it's a little bit of a different boat?
I've got a lot of time in the gnar now. So I got one of the first ones, and it is completely different. And I think it really kind of freaked a lot of people out. A lot of people didn't understand that secondary. Even to me, I mean, coming from a boat like the Cuda, and being in the rivers and having that secondary, and just, it feels like it's just going to go on, but it's not. It's like, it's one of those boats that and that's kind of why I tell people to give it some time before you rig, especially a gnar. It's a high performance boat. It's like it's a
Porsche.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I always tell people. It feels like a race car. It's like get into a Crown Vic and drive that around, and then get into a Porsche Carrera and drive that. It feels like it's on rails. It feels very loose. It feels very it's very responsive to every motion that you put into it. So it's like, and a lot of people, I think it scared them. It's kind of a scary boat when you first get into it. So you really have to learn how to load your gear for sure, but just maneuvering around in it. It's like you have to realize that you're kind of one with that hull. If you start slouching, like you get into that 3 or 4 hours in and you're kind of leaning on your knee and just kind of slouching and casting up the bank and doing that thing, then it's going to start feeling heavy on the opposite side because you're pooling up water over there, because you're giving that hull that counter steer on a motorcycle. When you give it that counter steer, it wants to go the other way, and that hull is allowing it to do it. It's thinking that you're leaning in and wanting to go left, when in reality you're leaning right, so it's going to start pooling up water, and people are like, this boat fills with water. It's like, no, it's you're slouching. You know, what'd your mom say? Sit up straight, you know, keep your back straight, be a big boy, you know, don't slouch, mind your posture. Just think about your positioning. If you're doing some heavy lifting off of one side, think about counterbalancing yourself. You know, I fish in a lot of grass. You know, you start pulling, you know, just horsing a fish up out of the grass, and it's going to feel like that boat wants to go. I mean, don't be afraid to take one leg and stick it out off the other, you know, give it the old Dustin Nichols, you know, like whenever you look at Dustin, he's always got one leg hanging out of the boat, you know, and it works for him. It's kind of his counterbalance in that U-pick that he has. And, you know, learn to do that, learn to anticipate it, but also learn to anticipate what that high performance hull is going to do when that fish comes out of the grass too. Cause I've seen a lot of people go the other way as soon as it comes out, you know, so,
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's just really putting in that time to learn the hull, you know, and then and building that boat in stages. I mean, like it's a completely different kayak as compared to anything that has ever been released, I think, in history. I mean, it's like literally the only hull that I could compare it to is the Cuda.
Fair, very fair. I actually, so for me, when I built NAR number 1, I had a good process with that. You know, I seen everything and listened to everybody, and I actually went through and physically weighed everything, soft plastics, tackle boxes, rods, reels, and then I went through and dispersed it through the boat. Kind of like what Josh was saying, he balanced it on his boats, and that's what I did to my NAR. I balanced the front, I balanced it with what I had in the back, and this is the best thing I've ever done performance-wise to that boat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I did. I've taken it out twice for like maybe 3 hours, and the first time I had the battery in the back, and it was kind of pulling up a little bit, and then I moved that battery to the front of the boat, and it just leveled it out, and it was way better.
That boat, you really have to cheat forward.
And plus, I had a big battery in the back too, to power my fish finder. That's just overkill.
Yeah, in that boat, like it does want to ride higher in the water, but that's okay in a lot of instances. But if you've got like a power pole or something on the back, or the torpedo, it's nice to get something towards the front so that that front does level down, and it in turn kind of helps pick that back end back up.
That's why I take two so good when you put the seat in the middle too.
Yeah,
it's just flat instead of you're riding like that with the rear end.
And you've got a lot of trimmability with the Take 2 on where you can put your body.
Yeah,
I think that's huge too.
Yeah, I think speaking back to the NAR, I think a lot of the negative comments that came in from it because they weren't used to that initial or secondary stability. A lot of people that went to the NAR came from a big rig, right? So
or something else that was nice and flat.
A replacement for it. It's not a direct replacement. It's a totally different boat, right? So, like we're talking about in all these podcasts or articles, people talk about the best thing you could do is time on the water to be a better angler. It goes for the boat too. Just sometimes maybe just going out there with a paddle and the pedals and leaving the rods at home, like saying, build it in stages. Well, start with yourself and your paddle and get out there and go through. You might be in a perfectly flat lake with no stage, 2 rapids or anything crazy, and a beaver slaps next to you. It's all this where you jump out of your skin. That right there could be a good practice segment alone without anything extra in the boat.
We'll wait till Saturday. I'm gonna come around behind you and just
don't do that.
Paddle slap it.
Paddle slap it.
Whitewater guys are gonna be making fun of us if we say class 2 rapids again, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't think they listen to.
That's just ripples on top of the water. I'm pretty sure.
Every time I come through
class 1's not a thing.
Yeah, every time I come through like a ripple of little water enough to make whitewater around a rock, like I'll take the video and like I want to tag every single one of them.
Call it
but especially
water,
like
just a ripple.
like like I'll send it to like Nick Troutman and be like, I'll have my paddle up in the air, like, hey,
Killer
look,
hole.
I did whitewater, yeah.
You need to see Rock Island
whitewater
one time.
It's pretty extreme.
Oh man.
I mean, I got it on the river for 2 years in East Tennessee, and it's not even. They say class 4s, but they're just like big 3s basically. And I mean, when I first started doing it, I was pretty terrified. And then you go to rivers like if you go to a river like the Gauley or something like that, then you start really questioning what you're doing.
I mean,
after you swam a couple of rapids, you feel a lot better about it. You're not as terrified.
feet
Kind
forward.
of like skydiving. I mean, you have to push me off an airplane, but
Tennessee has got some dang good water in. If you've never seen,
it's beautiful.
Great Falls when it's running, it's epic. It is epic.
It's got a huge hole, big play hole.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's
what's the one up there by you guys? The Caney Fort.
Caney Fort, Rock.
Oh, it's
Rock
so
Island.
Pretty.
That's Great Falls. That's where it all comes out right there.
That is so beautiful. It's unbelievable. Like everybody, stop what you're doing, load your boat up, and just go up there. It's so gorgeous.
Don't tell people that. You're gonna have Bridget mad at you.
We already have enough people moving here, bro.
I'm gonna send them to Charlie's striper holes.
Oh gosh. Didn't you read Dustin Nichols' Facebook post today or yesterday? Quit telling the YouTubers where to fish, okay?
Right.
Let's see.
You already said too much, Lance.
My bad. I'm just trying to drive
business. I was trying to scare people away, tell them it was like whitewater and be scared.
It's terrifying. Yeah, nah, shit, it's beautiful
Josh is telling them about a big hole they have to drop off in, and
there's definitely that too. Yeah. There's a reason that the Jackson. I always tell people they paddle so well. All the fishing boats that paddle so well is because the brand was born of whitewater. Yep. And so I mean there is a reason that the hometown is right up there in the heart of it. It's like that water clips.
Yeah. More on that later. So looking forward to 2023. I know you guys have got what is it looking like? What trails are you guys going to be fishing? What's kind of the game plan here for 2023? Josh is like, I haven't even thought about it
yet. Yeah. Some of them, have they even released all the schedules yet? I don't.
Nope. I don't think so. I think everybody's kind of late this year, really. Usually they're kind of waiting, filtered out by now.
Waiting for the first one to do it so the next one can go off of that.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what the BOS looks like. Definitely excited for Bassmaster as well. Like to see where that could go. Literally the sky's the limit. So it would be really nice to see them go to some cool spots, and I'm excited. I'm waiting on one of those guys. Josh got a vial of COVID variant to pass out to everybody at the captain's meetings and stuff, so I can slide into the TOC. I need just one guy, Josh. We just need to infect one dude.
One dude.
Are you the next one up?
I'm the next one up. Yeah.
Oh man.
Somebody will drop out. Watch somebody. I was the next guy up last year, and somebody dropped out 2 days before the tournament. I got 1 day of pre-fishing. It was horrible.
Oh man.
That was
especially on Eufaula. Yeah, especially on Eufaula. Yeah.
Well, the next tournament I fished there, I caught the biggest bag of the tournament the second day.
Wow.
So who knows?
So you're saying there's a chance?
Exactly. Yeah. There's always a chance.
There's a lot of tournament trails next year. I really like our local Bass Nation Tennessee trail. I mean, it usually has
that is a great trail.
I wish they would carbon copy that in Texas. I mean, we've got so many Great Lakes down here, and it's just that is one thing the nation has just not caught on down. And
Lance McWhorter, leader of the Texas Nation Bass.
It looked good on you.
Bassmaster 10. I can't even say it's a tongue
If you could look at the calendar on my phone, it would give you high blood pressure and I don't know, probably put you into AFib and like
Oh, never mind.
the amount of time I have is like none. I wish I could. But I mean, just like speaking at Bassmaster,
we can talk Jamie Broad into it, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. He's got the demeanor for it. That guy is like the nicest, most level-headed, most well-connected, just experienced, just really cool dudes. But hopefully, I mean that's like the national trails. I'm really hoping for Bassmaster. Like I went to a couple of their events this year. I was hoping to make it to the last one, but just being a business owner, I couldn't. I really want Bassmaster to make it, and that's why I was kind of trying to really go out of my way to make some of their trails.
Well, at the last tournament, they actually sat down and asked questions and was taking.
Yeah, they did that at Smith Lake too. Like we sat around and talked with them for 4 hours or so afterwards. Just they were real receptive, and I want them to be hugely successful because it's Bassmaster, man. It's like I want them to not give up on kayaks. It's like. Granted, I think a lot of the missteps weren't on the kayak community as far as they kind of shot themselves in the foot in the way that they kicked things off this year, but they're learning from it and they're growing and they're making changes and they're talking to us and they're listening. So I have high hopes for Bassmaster next year.
Yeah, I don't mind mistakes as long as you just learn and grow from them.
Exactly. And they are. I really believe that they are. I'm gonna hit some KBF events. I'm gonna hit some BOS events for sure. I mean, I only got to do, I want to say it's 2 BOS events in my NAR, and that was it for me. I mean, it's just that boat pedals so freaking good.
Oh yeah.
That it's so fast and it's so effortless that it's just it's almost like, remember when you were at the ramp and like that one dude had the torpedo, like the 403 or something, or had an NK180 and like would just dust all of you. It's like you feel like that when you're in a NAR at BOS. It's like that boat just takes off so effortlessly that it's just
I'm definitely going to put it to the test next week.
Yeah, dude, it cruises. It absolutely, that boat just takes off. I haven't really pedaled that much, so I hope I don't just. I've had so many tournaments where I'm pedaling and I get a Charlie horse out in the middle of the water, and it's just. I don't think you will with that one. It's so much different than.
No, it's just I haven't pedaled in a long time, so I'll overexert myself. And
well, if you do, the good news is that boat paddles just as good as it pedals.
Really good.
I got a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of paddling.
I don't think it matters in that boat.
With the Salvinia,
so it's so choked. Yeah.
Like Caddo's like one of my home lakes. That's I've spent so much time in there, and I mean over the last 14, 15 years I've spent so much time fishing Caddo. Yeah. It's a challenging lake. Like everybody that goes out there.
So there's boat lanes that they can't even get through.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Lanes.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets so choked out with grass or with Salvinia. But I can tell you with the NAR, you're going to have the speed advantage. You're also going to have the advantage of being able to flip that cover up and clear anything out of your prop like that. Where everyone else is going to be pulling drives out and snapping drives back in and doing all that mess. Like it's real easy. That's one of my favorite things in the world about all the Jackson flex drive boats is having that hole right there. You just crank a lever up and throw all that crap out the side and go right back to it.
And you can just crash into stuff too. You'll be all right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And you'll do that too.
Now I want to go back to what Josh was talking about, the Tennessee Bass Nation Trail. That trail is, if you guys are in Kentucky, Indiana, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, check out the Tennessee Bass Nation Trail if you don't have one of your own, because their trail it's going to start December, the first weekend in December, at Del Hollow, and these guys they run all winter.
120 people there last year.
Yeah, so it'll be December 3rd. It'll be the first tournament at Del Hollow Lake. And everything's on Tourney X. Man, it's a great trail. It's very well run.
I think I'm supposed to go to Mexico December the 5th. I'm supposed to be there, so I'm probably going to miss that one.
But that was one of the first Bass Nation trails I went and fished is down there at Del Hollow.
Was that last year?
No, the year before.
Okay.
I missed last year's.
I'm pretty sure I was there. Did Trey Johnson win that one? Maybe? I don't
It's
know.
been so long, I don't remember on that one. But
it's probably that Kentucky boy. I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, I don't remember who won.
Drew Russell,
I know,
maybe.
I remember it was largemouth, and I was bummed out because it was one on largemouth. So
yeah, that's what my buddy does now. He deep cranks for him. He won't tell me what crankbait he uses. He won't tell me where he's fishing or anything.
Well, to tell you my story on that, I got stuck. I watched Zona's Awesome Fishing Show before I went and seen him whacking them on big old heavy jigs, and I did nothing but throw a jig. And of course, my first two smallmouth I caught. Yeah, first two smallmouth I caught were on a big old 3/4 ounce jig, and that was it. That's it. That's the only lure that was in my boat. The
first time I ever went and fished Del Hollow was the best day I've ever had on Del Hollow, and since then it's not been that great.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went for me, but I still got a sign. I bought it fair and square. I didn't take it. I bought it.
I was like, what did he just do?
Yeah, I got a little Del Hollow sign. And then you got to go to Ricky Bobby's if you're in the area of Salina, Tennessee, too. You been to Ricky Bobby's, Josh?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, you need to go to Ricky Bobby's. We need to get them. If we end up at Del Hollow one of these days, me and you's going to Ricky Bobby's. It'll be a good time. Trust me.
Okay.
It's legendary. It was. Let me put it to you this way: it was 2020 when I went, and everything was shut down for COVID, and that was the most 2019 thing I'd ever seen. It was a good time.
I got some of those from my hometown too. It was never shut down. Never.
Mm-mm. Tennessee just kept the party going. It was beautiful. At least the outskirts of Tennessee.
That's why
outskirts
I like
of Nashville.
in Tennessee.
I can guarantee it. So, Jason, what do you got?
Well, I would like to venture down to Del Hollow, especially now that Josh might not be fishing. Going back to what
I am no threat on Del Hollow. You got to watch out for Riser and those boys like that.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah,
Adam. He'll come in and watch. He'll be first, second, or third watch.
Yeah, there's a lot of sticks out there. That's a bucket list lake. I haven't had the opportunity to fish it. I've driven past Del Hollow a lot.
Well, if you see Riser, if you see him, you need to tell me what that crankbait is, dude. He will not tell me.
I'll see.
He will not tell me. I want you to get up on him and take pictures and show it to me.
Yeah. There might be a small price attached to that, but
Oh, so that's fine.
He'll pay it.
Sounds like it. So. Yeah, I would really like to check that out. And that, local trails. We got a new one with USA Bassin coming up in Indiana, anyways, and it sounds like a couple other spots. And that's kind of where I cut my teeth bass boat fishing. That trail. It's a good, entry-level grassroots type of fishing tournament trail where, it's in person. It's not online and stuff like that, which a lot of people that really spoke highly of the national championship on Kentucky Lake that, boast about the online tournaments. They said the best takeaway from the NC was being able to hang out and, hang out with people and be like, oh, I got to meet Josh Stewart. He signed my hat and blah, blah, blah. It's a cool way to get into the grassroots of fishing in the kayak realm for what it's really worth. And that's that in-person, that camaraderie that you get at the boat ramps or the stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to fishing the USA Bassin and
I believe they're looking for directors. So if you
did I fish one? Is that the one Josh runs?
No, they're just starting this year.
Yeah, it's
okay.
They've got big boat trails all over. So they've got umpteen trails in Indiana and Tennessee and Kentucky.
I've heard of the boat trails before.
Yeah,
is that where you're at, Jason? Indiana?
Yeah. We're currently in Indianapolis. We'll be down there your way here in the 11 months.
Are you moving?
Yeah, we're gonna head south.
What? It's disappointing.
You going all the way to the shore? Or?
No,
Stop.
we're the old lady Nicole. She's a big Rocky Top fan, so we'll wind up somewhere between Knoxville and Chattanooga, I'm sure.
Well, see, I usually don't even watch football, but this year I guess I got to.
Man, yeah. Even if it's on, it's. I think the Georgia game this weekend should be pretty awesome. I'm pulling for Bill Dance and not Gene, whatever his name is. So I really think Tennessee's got a
Nedrig Master.
Oh, Fluke Master, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, who are you gonna go with? You gonna go with Bill Dance? Or you gonna go with Fluke Master? I'm going Bill Dance all the way.
Especially on the week of a Caddo tournament going up, because Fluke Master made that epic dismount of his kayak at Caddo last year.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna say that is an omen that Georgia is gonna just go down in flames.
There you
What's
go.
that?
He did that for video on purpose.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, he was talking about gator infested waters, and I'm like, man, I've fished Caddo 10 bajillion times, and I've seen a handful
I've
of
seen
gators.
a few. Yeah,
A handful.
you randomly see one just cruising across.
Yeah, like Rayburn has a gazillion more, or Toledo Bend has a gazillion more.
Sandy Cooper has the biggest I've ever seen.
Like Eufaula has the biggest that I've ever fished around. Like where you come around a reed bank and like a 12 or 13 footer like belly flops in front of your boat.
Eufaula just has a lot of them.
Yeah, they're thick and they were big. Like I was fishing along this little kind of little bayou kind of stretch up there next to Cody Milton was on one side and I was on the other, and we're flipping reeds and he flips in and he landed, I don't know, 1.5 ounce tungsten on the head of one of them in like this hyacinth mat, and like 8 gators flew out of that mat. Scared that there was a boat guy behind Cody and I was across the way and those gators just exploded everywhere. But yeah, like
I'm glad we don't have crocodiles.
Yeah, Caddo's not like that. Yeah, it's Caddo's chill. It's
Caddo's like a Cypress just jungle.
It's
wow.
like I always tell people it's like Jurassic Park. It's literally it's wild. And it's
you get lost. If I didn't have a GPS on the phone, I'd definitely get lost.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, anybody that's going out there, and I mean, I would tell this to anybody, man. Be careful. Have a backup battery for your phone. Like take one of those Dakota power boxes or something. Make sure that you have a way to switch like it's a Hobie, so you should have plenty of power without running a motor. So make sure your graph is good and you got your trail set. And if anybody in the world gets stuck out there, call me. Like I literally know I know that lake blindfolded. So it's like if you're stuck and you don't have electronics, you don't know who to call me. You know?
So
it's a crazy lake.
I don't like gators. I've always said that if I have to go fish with gators, Chris Funk's going with me, and he's just going to guard me the entire day.
That's how I was when I first did. I was terrified too. Dude. I brought my gun to Florida with me to put under my kayak because I was like, no gator going to get me, you know.
Oh yeah,
I freaking love them.
They don't bother me at all now.
Chris Funk pets them things. I'm taking him with me.
I'm not going that far, but
you see like Mama Jean's like.
Yeah, Gene
taking selfies with them, you know, like
Gator Rescue.
Gator Rescue, taking selfies with them, petting them on the head, like, you know.
They all know her. They know her.
Yeah, putting bandages on their heads and stuff. That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm good.
She's in the gator folklore around.
Yeah,
they talk about her. She's like the most interesting woman in the world. Like we should make up one of those commercials like the Dos Equis band.
Yes.
And it'd just be the most interesting fishing lady in the world.
Yes. I mean that should literally be. Yeah. Like somebody needs to get a hold of Emily and just make that the next Jackson campaign, which is just like the most interesting kayak fisher woman in the world. Like it's just the images that she gets, and I mean, just the things that she says are.
You send me a script and I'll put it together.
It's awesome.
It'll be on social media by next Tuesday. So, anyways, we're a little past the hour, so I'm going to let you guys kind of wind this thing down. Tell the people where to find you on the social medias. Thank the sponsorships and the peoples and the wives that you need to thank, and we'll close this baby out.
I'll start off. I'll do the save the best for last. But Nicole, she's definitely, my rock lets me do all this stuff around the country. She goes everywhere with me, her and the dogs. So got to give her props. Jackson Kayak, Orion Coolers, um, phenomenal products that not only perform but look cool too. Black Dog Brewing Company. If we got you on that. Little Miami Outfitters built some great rods. Brandon Palmer down there in the Cincinnati area. If you need a rod, he's your guy. Planet Fitness. We talked about, if you're like 3 1/4 and you want to get down to 260, $24.99 a month, get that black card, go anywhere you want. Nationwide. And if you're doing, living the truck life, RV life, hey, having a clean hot shower goes a long way as well. So Rogue Disc, don't want to forget those guys real fast. Disc golf, I hear it a lot in different podcasts and stuff like that. Alex Rudd, for whatever reason, every time I listen to him on a podcast, he brings up disc golf because there's a lot of PKAs and they talk about all these professional things. That disc golf is really taken off. If you want to get into it, Rogue Disc, not Rogue Fishing, but Rogue Disc, hit them guys up. They're based out of Indiana. They sell nationally. Great place to go get some more plastic. So that's all I've got. So I'll pass it down. And Josh, good luck this next weekend down in Caddo. I hope you kill it, man.
Yeah, I hope I do too.
Hell yeah.
There's a bunch of people to be worried about. So
you're one of them.
Yeah, for reals. You are definitely one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Mine is just going in the. We're definitely going to save the best for last. And if you I've got one of those unique, crazy, drunken Scottish names. So like pretty much if you just punch that into Google, you'll find everything from my fishing to my restaurant to all that. All you guys who are headed to Caddo, my restaurant's called Culture ETX. It's about an hour and a half away, but it's worth the drive. It's in Tyler, Texas. Sponsors, Jackson Kayak, it's forever and ever and ever. It's family. Newport Vessel Motors, Power Pole, Dakota Lithium Batteries, Dobbins Rods, Missile Baits, Yak Gadget, Treaty Oak Distilling for incredible whiskey, Traeger Grills, which are in the backdrop, Bubba Blades, and that's about it. And good luck, Josh. Go kill him, brother.
Oh, thank you. Well, I got a lot to be thankful for here, guys.
Thank on.
We've been renting forever. We just closed on our first house.
Congratulations,
I feel good
man.
about that. Me and the wife been married for a year now. We got a baby due in March.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm kind of just.
I gotta hit the button.
My life's about to do like a complete 180. So.
I hit the button for you.
My life's about to do a complete 180. She's been a wonderful, wife. She's a little hormonal, but just take a deep breath and remember she's pregnant.
Just wait.
Of course, you guys over there, Jackson. Love all you guys. It's like one big family. I like Lance. Every time I see him, he cracks me up. Jason, I haven't seen him that many times on the water. A few times, not as much as Lance. But I like to thank Dakota Lithium. Dakota Lithium does a lot for us. Like our companies that, like Dakota Lithium and Yak Attack. Like everywhere I go, like local club, Dakota Lithium and Yak Attack's giving away free stuff. So support the people that
They're
support
fantastic.
our local community. Kayak tournaments, and even if you go to the Hobie, Dakota's giving away stuff. If you go to Bass Nation Tour, Dakota's giving away stuff. They're always giving away stuff. Same thing with Yak Attack. I just got over Pure Fishing. I'm excited about that as well.
Congratulations.
Dugout bait and tackle. And
Dakota's Dugout's leveling up, man. They got a crew.
I just drove down there today and I got back and repacked the bearings. I just want to be 100% sure that my boat trailer makes it down there.
Yeah, Dugout has done some huge things this year, and shout out to them guys because they've absolutely stepped it up, and they're killing it in 2022 and into 2023. Yeah, man, Dakota and Yak Attack for sure. They are, and Catch. I mean,
Yeah.
they're another
Catch.
one
That's another one. Yeah, Catch.
they really
They need,
put
to
a
make,
lot
they
into
need to
this.
make boards that break so they can sell some more.
For reals.
You just have to change colors of boats.
I've snapped at least 6 hog troughs, trying to
man.
just squeeze it and have it in between my legs and just go straight through.
Yeah, I broke a couple.
But you buy
of
one
mine
catch
each
board, I
time.
mean, you're gonna have to lose it.
Yeah, they need to make it so like the lines wear off or something. Like just put some vanishing ink on those things that after 2 years. Yeah, I don't know how Duke and them. I don't know how that business model works, man. But
it's like a car. You feel like they got the as soon as the warranty miles runs out, it starts messing up.
Yeah,
As soon as you as soon as you measure 1,000 fish, it starts like disappearing.
Yeah, they need to do that. And the same thing with their like that catch cart, man. Like that thing, I got one of those. I'm not going to buy another cart. I mean, my grandkids are not going to buy another cart. You know, that thing's going to last forever.
So you thinking you had to replace the tires before you need a new cart?
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, 1,000%. Yeah, I will wear the rubber off those things before.
I'll probably leave it somewhere in the first 3 months.
That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. I'll leave it on a bank somewhere.
That's what happens every time I buy like a good like carbon fiber paddle. I bought 2 of them and I'm not doing it anymore. I'll lose it within like 3 months. But I have this old, just beat up paddle. I can't lose it to save it. I can't lose it.
It's part of it.
I left it somewhere. Then somebody brought it back to the tournament. So somebody left the paddle.
It's your lucky paddle.
No, it's not. You can't break it. Me and Stormy tried for like an hour to break it down. It's not coming apart.
All right, kids. Well, thank you all for listening tonight. We appreciate every one of you. Seen a lot of you out there in the comments. And we'll see you again on the next version of Doc Talk. Looking at the 17th of November, we will be back. So we will see you guys then.
You guys have like the squishy face challenge going on then too, I believe, don't you? Isn't it Patron and Jamie Broad and
I don't remember who was all there on the next
one.
Oh man, we got
follow Jamie Broad and Adam Patron on social media and watch the squishy face challenge that's going on. It's between their it's hilarious. But they're talking about Doc Talk.